unseasonable joy, because the young and amiable Alexis, heir to the great Sir Marmaduke Poindexter, is plighted to Aline, the only daughter of Annabella, Lady Sang-de-Jour. You alone are sad and out of spirits. What is the reason? Speak, my daughter, speak.
Oh, mother, do not ask if my complexion from red to white should change in quick succession, and then from white to red. Oh, take no notice if my poor limbs should tremble with emotion. Pay no attention, mother, it is nothing. If long and deep drawn sighs I chance to utter, oh, heed them not, their cause must ne'er be known.
What's with you? Away!
When he is here, I sigh with pleasure. When he is gone, I sigh with grief. My hopeless fear no soul can measure. His love alone can give my aching heart relief. Can give my aching heart relief. When he is cold, I weep for sorrow. When he is kind, I weep for joy. My grief untold knows no tomorrow. My grief untold knows no tomorrow. My woe can find no hope, no solace, no allure. No hope, no solace, no alloy. When I rejoice, he shows no pleasure. When I am sad, it grieves him not. His solemn voice has tones I treasure. My heart they gladden, they solace my unhappy lot. They solace my unhappy lot. When I despond, my woe they chasten. When I take heart, my hope they cheer. With folly fond to him I hasten. With folly fond to him I hasten. From him apart my life is very sad and drear. My life is very sad and drear.
Come, tell me about it. Oh, do not fear. I too have loved, though that was long ago. Who is the object of your young affection?
Hush, mother, he is here.
Our reverend vicar?
Oh, pity me,
My heart is almost broken. Be comforted, my child. To such an union I shall not offer any objection. Take him, he's yours. May you and he be happy.
but mother, he is not yours to give.
That's true enough.
He might object.
He might. But come, take heart. I'll probe him on the subject. Be comforted. Leave this affair to me.
The air is charged with amatory numbers. Soft madrigals and dreamy lovers' lays. Peace, old heart, why waken from your slumbers? The aching memory of the old days. Time was when love and I were well acquainted. Time was when we walked ever hand in hand. A saintly youth with worldly thought untainted, none better loved than I in all the land. Time was when maidens of the noblest station, forsaking even military men, would gaze upon me wrapped in adoration. Ah me, I was a fair young curate then. Had I a headache, sighed the maids assembled. Had I a cold, well forth the silent tear. Did I look pale, then half a parish trembled, and when I coughed, all thought the end was near. I had no care, no jealous doubts hung o'er me, for I was loved beyond all other men. For led gilded dukes and belted earls before me. Ah me, I was a pale young curate then. A pale young curate, a pale young curate. Ah me, I was a pale young curate then.
Good day, Reverend Sir.
Ah, good Mrs. Bartlett, I'm glad to see you. And your little daughter Constance, why, she is quite a little woman, I declare.
Oh, Mother, I cannot speak to him.
Yes, Reverend Sir, she is nearly 18 and as good a girl as ever stepped. Ah, sir, but I am afraid that I may lose her soon.
Dear me, you pain me very much. Is she delicate?
Oh, no, I don't mean that. But young girls look to get married.
Oh, I take you, to be sure. But there's plenty of time for that. 4 or 5 years hence, Mrs. Bartlett, 4 or 5 years hence. But when the time does come, I shall have much pleasure in marrying her myself.
Oh, Mother!
To some strapping young fellow in her own rank of life.
He does not love me!
I have often wondered, Reverend Sir, if you'll excuse the liberty, that you have never married.
Be still, my fluttering heart.
A clergyman's wife does so much good in a village. And besides that, you're not as young as you were, and before very long, you'll want someone to nurse you and look after your little comforts.
Mrs. Bartlett, there is much truth in what you say. I am indeed getting on in years, and a helpmate would cheer my declining days. Time was when it might have been, but I have left it too long. I am an old fogey now, am I not, my dear? A very old fogey indeed. No, Mrs. Bartlett, my mind is quite made up. I shall live and die a solitary old bachelor.
Oh, mother, mother!
Come, dear, don't fret. At a more fitting time, we will try again. We will try again.
Poor little girl. I'm afraid she has something on her mind. She is rather comely. The time was when this old heart would have throbbed in double time at the sight of such a fairy form. Oh, but tush, I am puling. Ah, here comes the young Alexis and his proud and happy father. Let me dry this telltale tear. Sir Marmaduke, my dear young friend Alexis, on this most happy, most auspicious blighting, permit me, as a true old friend, to tender my best, my very best congratulations.
Sir, you are most obliging. Dr. D, my dear old tutor, and my valued pastor, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
May fortune bless you. May the middle distance of your young life be pleasant as the foreground, the joyous foreground. And when you have reached it, may that which is now the far-off horizon, but which will then become the middle distance, in fruitful promise, be exceeded only by that which will have opened, in the meantime, into a new and glorious horizon.
My dear sir, that is an excellent example of an old school of stately compliment to which I have through life been much addicted. Would you oblige me with a copy of it in clerkly manuscript that I myself may use it on appropriate occasions?
Sir, you shall have a fairly written copy, ere soul has sunk his way into the western slumbers.
Come, my boy. Your fiancée will be here in 5 minutes. Rouse yourself to receive her.
Oh, rapture!
Yes, you are indeed a fortunate fellow, and I will not disguise from you that this union with the house of Saint-Leger realizes my fondest wishes. Aline is rich, and she comes of a sufficiently old family, and she is the 7,037th in direct descent from Helen of Troy. True, there was a blot on the escutcheon of that lady, that fair Paris. But where is the family other than my own, in which there is no flaw? You are a lucky fellow, sir, a very lucky fellow.
Father, I am dwelling over with limpid joy. No sickling taint of sorrow overlays the lucid lake of liquid love upon which, hand in hand, Aline and I are to float into eternity.
Alexis, I desire that of your love for this young lady you do not speak so openly. You are always singing ballads in praise of her beauty, and you require the very menials who wait behind your chair to chorus your ecstasies. It is not delicate.
Father, a man who loves as I love.
Pooh, sir. 50 years ago, I madly loved your future mother-in-law, the Lady Saint-Leger, and I have reason to believe that my love was returned. But were we guilty of the impropriety of publicly rushing into each other's arms, exclaiming, "Oh, my adored one, beloved boy, ecstatic rapture, unfailing joy"? It seems to be the modern fashion of love-making. No, it was mad. I trust you are in the enjoyment of good health.
Sir, you are vastly polite. I protest I am mighty well.
So forth. Much more delicate, much more respectful. But see, Aline approaches. Let us retire. and leave her to the contemplation of that interesting spectacle in which she is to play so important a part.
Come
Adieu to sadness, as Aurora gives a name. So those eyes, twin orbs of gladness, chase the clouds of care away. Irresistible incentive bids me humbly kiss your hands. I'm your servant, most attentive to command.
Wild with adoration, mad with fascination, to indulge my lamentation, no occasion do I miss. Goad into distraction by maddening inaction, and find some satisfaction in a apostrophe like this. Sangajor immortal, Sangajor divine, welcome to my portal, angel or divine, immortal, divine, angel or divine. Irresistible incentive bids me humbly kiss your hand. I'm your servant, most attentive to command.
Sir, I thank you most politely for your graceful courtesy. Compliment more truly knightly never yet was paid to me. Chivalry is an ingredient sadly lacking in our land. Sir, I am your most obedient to command. Wild adoration, mad with fascination, to indulge my lamentation, no occasion do I miss. Goaded to distraction by maddening inaction, I find some satisfaction in a apostrophe like this. Marmaduke immortal, Marmaduke divine, take me to thy portal, loved one, oh, be mine, immortal, divine, loved one, oh, be mine. Chivalry is an ingredient sadly lacking in our land. What fascination, malfascination, no lamentation, no occasion do I miss. To indulge my lamentation, no occasion do I miss. What adoration and malfascination, to indulge my lamentation, no occasion do I miss. Your most obedient, your most obedient to command.
All is prepared for sealing and for signing. The contracts have been drafted as agreed. All is prepared for sealing and for signing. The contracts have been drafted as agreed. Approach the table, O ye lovers pining, with hand and seal, come execute the deed. Approach the table, lovers fighting with hand and seal, come execute the deed.
I deliver it as my act and deed.
I deliver it as my act and deed.
See it signed without ambivalence, then to seal proceed. They deliver it as their act and deed.
Darling, you are now irrevocably betrothed to me. Are you not very, very happy?
Oh, Alexis, can you doubt it? Do I not love you beyond all on earth, and am I not beloved in return? Is not true love, faithfully given and faithfully returned, the source of every earthly joy?
That there can be no doubt. That the world would be persuaded of the truth of that maxim. That the world would break down the artificial barriers of rank, wealth, age, education, beauty, habits, taste, and temper, and recognize in the glorious principle that in marriage alone is to be found the panacea for every ill.
Continue to preach that sweet doctrine, and you shall succeed, O evangel of true happiness.
I hope so, but as yet the cause progresses but slowly. Still, I have made some converts to the principle that men and women should be coupled in matrimony without distinction of rank. I have lectured on the subject at mechanics institutes, and mechanics were unanimous in favor of my views. I have preached at workhouses, beer shops, and lunatic asylums, and have been received with enthusiasm. I have addressed navvies on the advantages that would accrue to them if they were to marry wealthy ladies of rank, and not a navvy dissenting.
Noble fellows, and yet there are those that hold that the uneducated classes are not open to argument. And what do the countesses say?
Why, present it can't be denied. The aristocracy hold aloof.
Ah, the working man is the true intelligence after all.
He is a noble creature when he is quite sober. Yes, Aline, true happiness comes of true love, and true love should be independent of external influences. It should live upon itself, and by itself, in itself. Love should live for love alone. Love feeds on many kinds of food, I know. Some love for rank and some for duty. Some give their hearts away for empty show, and others love for youth and beauty. To love for money all the world is grown. Some love themselves and live alone. Give me the love that loves for love alone. I love that love, I love it only. I love that love, I love it only. Give me the love that loves for love alone. I love that love, I love it only. What man for any other joy can thirst, whose loving wife adores him duly? Want, misery, and care may work their worst if loving woman loves you truly. A lover's thoughts are ever with his own, none truly loved is ever lonely. Give me the love that loves for love alone. I love that love, I love it only. I love that love, I love it only. Give me the love that loves for love alone. Yes, Helene, and I'm going to take a desperate step in support of him. Have you ever heard of the firm of J.W. Wells and Company? The old established family sorcerers of Cimmeriax?
I have seen their advertisement.
They've invented a filter, which if report may be believed, is simply infallible. I intend to distribute it through the village, and within 12 hours of my doing so, there will not be an adult in the place who will have not learnt the secret of pure and lasting happiness. What do you say to that?
Well, dear, of course a filter is a very useful thing in a house, but still I don't quite see that it is the sort of thing that places its possessor on the very pinnacle of earthly joy.
Oh, you misunderstand me. I didn't say a filter. I said a filter.
You don't mean a love potion?
On the contrary, I do mean a love potion.
Oh, Alexis, I don't think it would be right. I don't indeed. And then, a real magician? It would be downright wicked!
Aline, is it or is it not a laudable object to steep the whole village up to its lips in love, and to couple them in matrimony without distinction of age, rank, or fortune?
Unquestionably.
And unpleasant as it must be to have recourse to supernatural aid, I must nevertheless pocket my aversion in deference to the great and good end I have in view. Hercules!
Yes, sir?
Is Mr. Wells there?
He's in the tent, sir. Refreshing.
Good. Tell him to be so good as to step this way.
Yes, sir.
Alexis, a real sorcerer? I shall be frightened to death!
I trust my Aline shall not yield to fear while the strong right arm of her Alexis is here to protect her.
It's nonsense, dear, to talk of your protecting me with your strong right arm, in face of the fact that this family sorcerer could change me into a guinea pig before you could turn round.
He could change you into a guinea pig, no doubt. But it's a most respectable firm, and I am sure he would never be so guilty of an untradesmanlike an act.
Good day, sir!
Good day. I believe you are a sorcerer?
Sir, we practice necromancy in all its branches. We have a choice selection of wishing caps, divining rods, amulets, charms, and counter-charms. We can cast you nativity in a low figure, and we have a horoscope at 3 and 6 that we can guarantee. Our amulet chest, each complete with patent hand, who comes out and prophesies disasters with spleen complete, are strongly recommended. Our Aladdin lamps are very chaste, and our prophetic tablets foretelling everything from major oil spills to mortgage lending crises are very much inquired for. Our penny curse, one of the cheapest things in the trade, is considered infallible. We have some very superior blessings too, but they're very little asked for. We've only sold one since Christmas to a gentleman who bought it to send to his mother-in-law. But it turned out that he was afflicted in the head, and it was returned upon our hands. But our sale of penny curses, especially on Saturday nights, is tremendous. We can't turn them out fast enough. My name is John Wellington Wells. I'm a dealer in magic and spells, in blessings and curses, and Earlville curses and prophecies, witches and bells. One trifle to make tracks. If you melt a chunk in wax, you've got to look in on the resident in number 7, Cimmeriax. We've effect that are something of magic, and for raising a costume is shade, with effects that are comic or tragic. There's no cheap house of prey. The filtering quantities of it, and for knowledge if anyone burns, we're keeping a very small profit, a profit of readers of magic burns. Or you can prophesy with a wink on his eye, people security into futurity, sum up our history, clear up a mystery, clear up proclivity, foreign activity. He has answers oracular, boldly spectacular, tension-points tragical, mirror so magical, facts astronomical, solemn or comical, and if you want it, he makes a reduction for taking a quantity. Anyone anything he lacks, find it already in stacks. You want to look in on the resident gin number 7, Cimmeriax. Raise you hosts of ghosts, and then without reflectors, and creepy things with wings, and and haunted grisly spectres. He can fill crowds of shrouds and horrify you vastly. He can wreck your brains with chains and gibberings grim and ghast. Then if he can, he changes organically with an urbanity, fills eternity, vexes humanity with an inanity, making humanity, driving the force of murder and insanity. Body tautology, demonology, electrobiology, mysticosology, spirit philology, high-class astrology, such as analogy is the man to require an apology. Oh, they was on way to rats, and little magic and spells, blessings and curses and everything curses and promises, witches and bells. And if anyone anything lacks, you'll find it already in stacks. But to look in on the resident in number 70 Cimmeriacs.
You advertise a patent oxyhydrogen love at first sight filter.
Sir, it is our leading art.
Now, I want to know if you can confidently guarantee it as having possessing all the qualities you claim for it in your advertisement.
Sir, we are not in the habit of puffing our goods. Ours is an old established house with a large family connection, and every assurance held forth in the advertisement is fully realized.
Lexus, don't defend him. He'll change us into something dreadful. I know he will.
I am anxious from purely philanthropical motives to distribute the filter secretly among the inhabitants of the village. I, of course, shall require a quantity. How do you sell it?
In buying a quantity, sir, we should strongly recommend your taking it in the wood and drawing it off as you happen to want it. We have it in 4.5 and 9 gallon casks. Also in pipes and hogsheads for laying down, and we deduct 10% for ready cash.
I should mention that I'm a member of the Army and Navy stores.
In that case, we deduct 25%.
Ali, the villagers are to assemble to carouse in a few moments. Go and fetch the teapot.
What the Lexus?
My darling, I beg of you at once, go and fetch the teapot.
I'm sure Dr. Digby would disapprove of it.
And how soon will it take effect?
In 12 hours. Whoever drinks it loses consciousness for that period, and on waking, falls in love as a matter of course with the first lady he meets who has also tasted it, and his affection is at once returned. When trial will prove the fact.
Good. Then, Mr. Wells, I shall feel obliged if you will pour as much filter into this teapot as will suffice to affect the whole village.
But bless me, Alexis, many of the villagers are married people.
Madam, this filter is compounded on the strictest principles. On married people it has no effect whatever. But are you quite sure that you have the nerve to undertake this fearful ordeal?
In the good cause, I fear nothing.
Very well then. We will proceed with the incantation. Sprites of earth and air, fiends of flame and fire, demon souls come here in shoals this dreadful deed inspire. Up here, up here, up here.
Good master, we are here.
Noisome hags of night, imps of deadly shade, pallid ghosts arise in host and lend me all your aid. Up here, up here, up here.
Good master, we are
Our company assemble, these fiends of the night.
Oh, Alexis, I tremble. Seek safety in flight. Let us fly to the far land where peace and plenty dwell, where the sun
toads. Ye demons fell with yelp and yell, shed curses far afield. Ye fiends of night, your filthy blight in noisome plenty. Number one.
It is done.
Number two.
What you view?
Number three.
Let us fly to the floor of land where peace and faces stream. To the sky of the silver strand is excellent faces stream. Let us fly, 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 let us fly.
The feast is spread before ye. Hear nothing, but enjoy yourselves, I pray. Eat and drink, be merry, I implore you. For once let thoughtless folly rule the day. Eat, drink, and be gay, banish all worry and sorrow, laugh gay today, weep if you're sorry tomorrow. Come, pass the cup round, I will go in for the liquor, it's strong, I'll be bound, for it was brewed by the vicar. It's strong, I'll be bound, for it was brewed by the vicar. None so knowing is he, and brewing a joyful tea, a peace and joyful tea.
All the light and heeding, the tea becomes thick. They are exceeding,
The hearts were melting on the heart. Then we felt the potion's power. Then we felt the potion's power. The potion's power.
Pain, trouble, and care, misery, colic, and worry, quick, out of your lair, it's you are gone in a hurry. Toil, sorrow, and plot, fly away quicker and quicker. The reeds move to the pot, that is the brew of your liquor. The reeds move to the pot, that
strange confusion that fills my aching eyes.
A marvelous illusion, a terrible surprise, excites a strange confusion within your aching eyes.
I must regain my senses, restore reason law, or fearful inferences, the company will draw, or fearful inferences, the company will draw.
I think, and that this mystic power, the magic drink, should manifest its power. Oh, slumbering force, little happy fire, storms the fire that warms each ever-burning breast, each ever-burning breast.
Stay, my father is not here.
And pray, where is my mother dear?
I did not think you need to see a dame of lengthy pedigree, a baronet and KCB, a doctor of divinity, and that respectable QC, of fast asleep al frescoly. And so I had them carried home and put to bed respectively, and put to bed respectively. I trust my conduct meets your approbation.
Sir, you acted with discrimination and showed more delicate appreciation than we'd expect in persons of your station.
Yes, it showed more delicate appreciation
than we expect in persons of your station.
Soft, they waken one by one. The spell has worked, the deed is done. I would suggest that we retire while love the housemaid lights her kitchen fire.
While love the housemaid lights her kitchen fire.
Sleeping out just when the dew do rise.
My hands are very
A very deaf old man can hear you very badly.
You very deaf old man should not you marry.
I know not why I love him so. It is enchantment surely. He's dry and snuffy, deaf and slow, ill-tempered, weak and poorly. He's ugly and absurdly dressed, and 87 nearly. He's everything that I detest, but if the truth must be confessed, I love him very dearly. I love him dearly.
Hey?
Oh, you're everything that I detest, but still I love you dearly. You're all that I detest, I love you dearly.
I caught that line, but for the rest I did not hear it clearly.
You very deaf old man should not you dearly.
Oh joy, the charm works well, and now are you united.
The young boy, oh, is the spell, their troth they all have plighted. Oh, bitter joy no words can tell how my poor heart is plighted. They'll soon employ a marriage bell to say that we're united. I do confess I'm anxious where my humble spirit vexes, and none will less example rare of their beloved Alexis. Of their Alexis.
Oh joy, oh joy, oh joy, it's the trial of sin to night and night. The soul and boy of marriage bell to say that we're united. True happiness reigns everywhere and dwells with both the sexes.
None will less example rare of their beloved Alexis.
True happiness reigns everywhere and dwells with both the sexes.
None will less example rare of their beloved Alexis.
Oh joy, oh joy. Oh joy, oh joy. Oh joy, oh joy. Oh joy, oh joy.
How joyful they all seem in their newfound happiness. The whole village has paired up in the happiest manner, and yet not a match has been made that the hollow world would not consider ill-advised.
But we are wiser, far wiser than the world. Observe the good that will become of these ill-assorted unions. The miserly wife will check the reckless expenditure of her too frivolous consort. The wealthy husband will shower innumerable bonnets upon his penniless bride, and the young and lively spouse will cheer the declining days of her aged partner with comic songs unceasing.
What a delightful prospect for him!
Yes, but one thing remains to be done, that my happiness may be complete. We must drink the philtre ourselves, that I may be assured of your love forever and ever.
Alexis, do you doubt me? Is it necessary that such love as ours be secured by artificial means? Oh, no, no, no.
My dear Aline, time works terrible changes, and I want to place our love beyond the chance of change.
Alexis, it is already far beyond that chance. Have faith in me, for my love can never, never change.
Then you absolutely refuse?
trust me. You have no right to love me, no right to be loved by me.
Enough, Helene! I shall know how to interpret your refusal. How has the power thy vaunted love to sanctify all doubt above, despite the gathering shade, to make that love of thine so sure that come what may it must endure till time itself shall fade. Thy love is but a flower that fades within the hour. If such thy love, oh shame, call it by other name. Thy love is like a flower that fades within the hour. If such thy love, oh shame, call it by other name. It is not love. It is not love. Thine is the power, and thine alone, to place me on so proud a throne that gives my enemy a priceless throne of love untold, more rare than Orient's pearl and gold. But no, no, thou wouldst to be free. Such love is like the ray that dies within the day. If such thy love, oh shame, call it by other name. Such love is like the ray that dies within the day. If such thy love, oh shame, call it by other name. It is not love. It is not love.
It is singular. It is very singular. It has overthrown all my calculations. It is distinctly opposed to the doctrine of averages. I cannot understand it.
Dear Dr. Daly, what has puzzled you?
My dear, this village has not hitherto been addicted to marrying and giving in marriage. Hitherto, the youths of this village have not been enterprising, and the maidens have been distinctly coy. Judge then of my surprise when I tell you that the whole village came to me in a body just now and implored me to join them in matrimony with as little delay as possible. Even your excellent father has hinted to me that before long it is not unlikely that he also may change his condition.
Oh, Alexis, do you hear that? Are you not delighted?
Yes, I confess that a union between your mother and my father would be an excellent news indeed. The news you bring us is quite gratifying.
Yes, still in my eyes it has its melancholy side. This universal marrying brings to mind the happy days, now alas, gone forever, when I myself might have... But tush, I am puling. I am too old to marry. And yet, within the last half hour, I have greatly yearned for companionship. I never noticed it before, but the young maidens of this village are very comely. So likewise are the middle-aged. Also the elderly. All are comely and all are engaged.
Here comes your father.
Dr. Daly, give me joy. Alexis, my boy, I trust you will be pleased to hear that my declining days are not unlikely to be solaced by the companionship of this good, virtuous, and amiable woman.
My dear father, this is not altogether what I expected. This is certainly somewhat taken by surprise. Still, it can be hardly necessary to assure you that any wife of yours is a mother of mine. This is not quite what I could have wished.
Oh, sir, I entreat your forgiveness. I am aware that socially I'm not everything that could be desired, nor am I blessed with an abundance of worldly goods, but I can at least confer upon your estimable father that great and priceless dowry of a true, tender, and loving arms.
I do not question it. After all, the true love is the endless source for every earthly joy.
I knew that my boy would not blame his poor father for following the impulse of a heart that has never yet misled him. Sora is not perhaps what the world would call beautiful, but
Still, she is comely. Distinctly comely.
Sora is very good and very clean and honest and quite sober in her habits, which is worth far more than beauty, dear Sir Marmaduke.
Yes, beauty may fade and perish, but personal cleanliness is practically undying. For it can be renewed whenever it discovers symptoms of decay. Oh, my dear Sir Marmaduke, I heartily congratulate you.
I rejoice that it's decided. Happy now will be my life, for my father is provided with a kind and tender wife.
She will tend him, nurse him, mend him, air his linen, dry his tears. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his years.
Oh, young giddy, thoughtless maiden, full of praises, airs, and jeers, but a sober widow laden with the weight of 50 years.
high-born exacting beauty, blazing like the jeweled sun, but a wife who do her duty as her duty should be done.
She will tend him, nurse him, mend him, air his linen, dry his tears. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his years.
I'm no saucy minx and giddy, hussy such as them are bound, but a clean and tidy witty will be known for miles around.
All the village now have mated and are happy as can be. I to live alone am fated, no one left to marry me.
No one left to marry me. She will tend him, nurse him, mend him, air his linen, dry his tears. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his years. Bless the thoughtful fates that send him such a wife to soothe his years. Such a wife to soothe his years.
Oh, I have wrought much evil with my spells, and ill I can't undo. This is too bad of you, J.W. Wells. What wrong have they done you? another love-gone lady comes. Alas, poor stricken day. A gentle pensiveness her life becomes, and mine alone the blame.
Alas, on me, and when a day I sigh for love, and when I may, for I am very old and gray. But stay, what is this fairy form I see before me?
Oh, horrible! She's going to adore me. This last catastrophe is overpowering.
Why do you gaze at me with visage lowering? For pity's sake, recoil not thus from me.
My lady, leave me. This can never be. Hate me, I drop my H's ab through life.
Love me, I'll drop them too.
Hate me, I always eat peas with a knife.
Love me, I'll eat like you.
Hate me, I often roll down One Tree Hill.
Love me, that joy I'll share.
Hate me, I sometimes go to Earlville.
Love me to there. Love me, my prejudices I'll forever drop.
Hate me, that's not enough.
Love me, I'll come and help you in the shop.
Hate me, the life is rough.
Love me, my brother, a Lord forswear.
Hate me, abjure my lot.
Love me, I will stick sunflowers in my hair.
Hate me, they'll suit you not. And what I'm going to say, be not enraged. I may not love you, for I am engaged. Engaged to a maiden fair, with bright brown hair and a sweet and simple smile, who waits for me by the sounding sea on a South Pacific isle. Alive, no maiden waits me there.
She has bright brown hair.
Alive, no maiden smiles on me.
By the sounding sea, the sounding sea. Oh, agony, rage, despair, the maiden has bright brown hair, and mine is as white as snow. False man, it'll be a false I go to my family home to bury my lifelong woe.
Oh, agony, rage, despair, where will the send go, where I should very much like to know. It will certainly be my fault if she goes to a family vault to bury her lifelong woe.
False man, it'll be a false I go to my family vault to bury my lifelong woe. The family vault, the family vault, the family vault, the vault, the vault, the family vault,
family vault,
yes,
the family vault.
Good your heart and full your coffer, yet I must decline your offer. I'm engaged to so and so. So and so, so and so. So and so, so and so. I'm engaged to so and so. What a rogue young heart to pillage, what a worker on love's tillage. Every maiden in the village is engaged to so and so. So and so, so and so. So and so, so and so. All engaged to so and so.
Oh, joyous good, oh, mad delight, oh, sorrow and good, oh, day and night, rejoice with me.
Proclaim our joy, keep birds above, keep rooklets murmur for our love in choral ecstasy.
Oh, joyous mood,
Oh, mad delight,
oh, sun and moon.
oh, day and night,
Rejoice with me,
rejoice with me, rejoice, rejoice with me.
Aline, my all, love, my happiness, the winter, you have tasted it.
Yes, yes,
Oh, joy, mine, mine forever and ever.
Alexis, don't do that, you must not.
Why?
Unless that lovers thus should meet, oh, pity, pity me. Oh, charge me not with cold deceit, oh, pity, pity me. You bade me drink with trembling awe I drank, and by the potion's law I loved the very first I saw. Oh, pity, pity me.
My dear young friend, console me, we pity you. In this I'm not an agent free, we pity you. Some most extraordinary spell on us has passed its magic spell. The consequence I need not tell, we pity you.
Some most extraordinary spell on us that cast its magic spell. False one be gone, I spurn thee to thy new love eternity. I perfidy, all men shall know.
I could not help it.
Come on, come on.
We could not help
Oh,
it.
name I call.
I could not help it.
What is the matter? What is the matter? He's very matter and what's alone. Oh, what is he matter?
She hurried off to meet you, but most unhappily, she met me instead. As you had administered the potion to both of us, the result was inevitable. But fear nothing from me. I will be no man's rival. I shall quit the country at once and bury my sorrow in the congenial gloom of a colonial bishopric.
Oh, my excellent old friend! Mr. Wells, what is there to be done?
I do not know. And yet, there is one means by which the spell may be removed.
Name it! Name it!
Or you, or I, must yield up his life to our remedy. I would rather it be you. I should have no hesitation in sacrificing my life to save yours. But we take stock next week, and it would not be fair to the company if I were absent.
Well, I am ready!
No, Alexis, it must not be. Mr. Wells, if he must die and all may be restored to their old loves, what is to become of me? I should be left out in the cold with no love to be restored to.
True, I had not thought of that. My friends, I appeal to you, and I leave the decision in your hands. Or I or he must die. Which shall it be? Reply.
I vow that the cause of unavenging.
I now yield now to this decree unbending.
Die thou! Die thou! Die thou!
So be it, I submit. My fate is sealed to popular opinion. Thus I yield. He has